Yo, this shit OP.
Honestly, I know what you guys want me to talk about. I am not going to talk about it because that's not what I'm here to talk about right now. I'm going live because this man said freestyle by Shaker. And I can't speak, little kid from Shaker, but these are heights that you can't reach. This is stuff that you can't teach. This is all in my head. Spit the freestyle, I just think now, I just know that they dead off of their head when I rap this. Passionate, every single rap I spit. Track to get, I don't even know. I'm just having fun. I spit in these rhymes off of the mind, I do it a ton. Spitting this shit, you know that I do it, it's like a computer. And all you rappers is doo-doo, y'all be talking manure. Yeah, snakes from my head like Medusa. Talking get hit in medulla. Translucent, I'm seeing through ya. But I'm not, I don't know. No, I'm not in Cleveland, I'm in LA. Love them all if they try to judge me. Love them all if they never love me. Love them all if I hit a wall and they see me falling. Don't try to help me, I'm done relying on anyone for my own. But that's besides my family, I might plant a seed when I'm grown. First I gotta show them that I got a plan. Prove to my mama I'ma be a man. Show all my teachers that knowledge is deeper than what the professors see on the exams. There is a light in every single child, and I want you all to know that I see all your potential, even though it's stressful. Don't worry, cause that kid is still me. I'm from the same place that they came from. Think it's my fault that you gave up, so don't ask me if you can take some. That's fake, son, and I shouldn't. Why you mad that I live and learn what you expect from me in return when you the one that told me I couldn't? Said I'm trying to find what my heart is, Everybody's so heartless, man, I've been trying my hardest. It seems like I'm so close to my dream, like I see everything that I ever wanted. I wonder if it's all real life, it don't feel right. We ain't on the same page, trying to find my own way, make my own lane, and have the game change. What happened if I played the game the same way? They said stop when I barely started, but I got my eyes on that line and I ain't slowed down cause I was so certain. In the end it's all so worth it, in this life it seems so perfect, with the fame and all the shine. I've been stuck inside this moment and I got one chance to make it mine. Gotta make sure I own it, there's just some things you can't rewind. I feel like everybody want it, they just don't want to take the time. And that beat is crazy. But now I wanted to talk to y'all about some stuff.
Unison maybe quarter pack.
Because I'm going through a really interesting season in my life. I'm like really happy, and I'm like really like, I don't want to say sad, because that's not what it is. I just feel really like lonely a lot of the time, and like
Rock Legion.
I honestly don't, like, I just went on a walk, because that's what I usually do when I'm feeling some type of way. But I've been like, I don't know how to describe it. I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm depressed, but there's just this loneliness that I feel like, it feels like there's nobody, it feels like nobody's there for me, which I know is a lie. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that, like, me feeling all this is not it's not a product of reality. This is not something that's like for real present and like, I mean, granted, I will say, like, I don't want to get too much into my personal life, but I will say that there are some people in my life who, you know, have made me feel a certain type of way, a little bit, let's say, abandoned in a sense. And so I've been dealing with a lot of that, and it's like, you know, trying to move on from certain situations and people that, you know, because, you know, one of my friends, he's a producer, he posted something, he said, there's a line between loyalty and slavery. And that just hit me, because I was like, oh man, like, you're so right, dude. Like, you know, sometimes we can be so loyal to stuff that we don't even know that it's, it may not be the best situation for us. And that's, I feel like that's something I'm dealing with right now. And it's tough, bro, because, you know, I want to keep a level head. And you know, the type of person I am, I want to extend myself, and I want to give. And, you know, and Sergio's back home at the Bay, and I'm in LA right now, and I have like the next like 3 days to myself, and I've just been sitting here and just realizing, like, it just feels like there's not a lot of people that are just really there. At least for me, like I feel like I extend so much. I feel like there's not a lot that extend. There are, but I think now what I'm getting at is there are people who give me that. And I was sitting at the park today, and I was like, oh man, like, and I counted all basically my day ones, and I was like, oh, all these people, I know that they are there for me. If I hit them up right now and I'm like, yo, can I talk about something? Can I do this? I'm there. So I want to say that I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I don't have anybody, because I still have like the day ones, the people that have been there from the jump. But it's these new people coming into my life that skew my perception of the people that really do love and care about me. And it's like I put so much trust and value on their perception of me and their energy towards me, and it's very draining, because you know what, like, I don't understand why I expect that out of them. There's no reason I should expect somebody who, you know, doesn't really know me to, you know, fill this void that I may be going through. And at the end of the day, like, filling voids is something that we just need to do ourselves. Like,
people on Instagram,
like, I don't know, bro, like, I've always been someone who's enjoyed alone time, but as of recent, I think with everything going on, and you know, I'm working on releasing music and all this other stuff, and just like, there's certain things that I've cut the grass, basically, you know, I've cut the grass, and it's really sad to me to see who's a snake in the grass. It's really hard for me, because it's like you want to help the snake. You want to be like, no, bro, like, it's gonna be all right. You know what I mean? Like, like, I want to just take care of you, and like, maybe you can be a part of this, my life or whatever. And it's just like, it is what it is, bro. And it's like, I'm gonna just rap real quick. I've always been Mr. I'ma get it, so optimistic. The opposition saying drop it when I shot and missed it. As far as confidence in me, there ain't a part that isn't. I was always taught I gotta leave the things I started finished. I know I got a different fantasy, but understand that God has a better plan for me. So my promise, I ain't hurrying out. There ain't a thing you need to worry about. See, I'ma make you proud. I'm slowly living the life I envision. I always been a small kid with the highest ambitions. I used to fight with you when really I wanted attention. Yes, I was wrong, but don't we all have our imperfections? We need to know that sometimes our pain ain't what it really seems. Some other things we tend to say ain't what we really mean. I merely be just a fraction of all the people trying to find themselves. That's why I gotta ask if this is really me. And basically, I guess it was on my heart heavy today to like kind of express this. And you know, I was thinking, man, I was like, because I caught myself, you know how we are, especially in this day and age, with social media, it's like I had an instinct to like immediately post about it. I had an instinct to be like, oh, let me do something, let me post something, so this person like a sub tweet or whatever, or like just not even a sub, but just to get somebody's attention, because it'll make me feel validated knowing that I got in somebody's head. And I had to catch myself and be like, you know what, like the best thing that I could do with where I'm at right now, and this is like 30 minutes ago, I was like, I'm just gonna chill. I'm just gonna figure it out on my own. I don't need to console with anybody. Is that even the way to... I don't need to consult with anybody. I don't need to go to somebody for help. Like, I need to figure this out myself. And I figured, you know, I haven't felt as connected to y'all in a minute. And, you know, that's gonna change obviously when music comes out. But, like, I figured this was something that maybe y'all could relate to. Maybe y'all understand a little bit of what I'm saying, or maybe you've been in that same shoes, in those same shoes. I just, oh man, it's a tough thing to deal with right now, especially like, I think we place so much of our happiness right now on other people, because like we don't have access to the world, and like everything that's stripped away from us, at least in my life, there's so much that's stripped away that like, you know, little moments become very they just get blown out of proportion. And you know, I don't like that. I don't like the person that like, and this is not even to sound any type of way, I've really thought about it the other day. I've been looking in the mirror, and I have not liked the person I see. Like, sure, like, oh, I look good or whatever. I'm like, oh, it's not an attractiveness thing. But there are those days too where I'm like, wow, you really are fucking ugly. but it's really just like, it's like a soul thing, like soul to soul. When I look in the mirror, I'm just like, I don't respect you right now for whatever reason. And you know, that's a hard thing to deal with, because it's like, well, you know, that's because this person, or it's because, you know, I have this situation to blame. And it's like, bro, like that's cool and all, like I get it, but you know, are you gonna spend your day, your time, if time is the most valuable thing, are you gonna spend your time in self-pity, or trying to get to the root of those issues and get to the root of whatever you're like thinking about? Like it's just a frustrating thing, man, because, you know, I think we immediately want to point the finger somewhere else. Immediately want to point it to anything else. It could be the person on the street, it could be a situation like I had to wait in line too long, and like, but like, it's in those moments, bro, that I realize that there's something not right with me. It's like when I'm in line for something, if I'm like at Target, like I was at Target today, and like, you know, when people do stuff like in public or whatever, and it has nothing to do with you. They're not even consciously aware of your presence, but they might just be in front of you in line, and they're just taking so long, and you just have all these terrible thoughts in your head. Like, it's in those moments that I know, like, oh man, like what is off balance in me? Like, what am I holding in? And so yeah, I've had just like this crazy I've had these crazy ups and downs, man, recently, like high levels of dopamine, and I think that it's messing with me, because like I've had, like, you guys gotta understand, like if you're making music and you're watching this right now, like music, it'll give you that huge just high when you make something good, or you're in the middle of working on a project. Like, I can't tell you guys how many times recently I have cried of pure joy and gratitude because of what has come out of me, because of the material that I have, and like all these different things that are happening around me, and that you guys are gonna get to witness. It's mind-blowing, and I just try to humble myself every day and think like, oh man, I really want to do this the right way, and I'm grateful, and just like thanking God for every little moment that He's blessed me and just like pushed me forward, and like all these different things. But at the same time, when things don't go well, when it's like I have that, everything else to me seems like, well, I should be feeling like this. I should have this feeling. And if I don't have this feeling, then it is what it, and then I feel like I'm depressed, but I'm not depressed. I'm just like a little bit lower, and I'm probably at just a normal level, but because I'm not so high and so filled with this adrenaline, anything else seems, it's like a drug, to be honest. It is like a drug. Like, now that I'm speaking it out loud, like it feels like a drug. Making music and putting it out and getting that instant response, and like, me looking at all my videos and like, dude, like I've gotten like millions of views, and like there's all these reaction videos and people just praise me left and right. Like even in my personal life, like there's so many people that look up to me that are gonna be my employees like one day, and like that are my friends obviously, but are gonna be paid by me to be a part of what I have going. And it's like this praise and this like, oh, we're looking up to you. And even having y'all, I understand you guys look to me like I got this shit figured out, and you're kind of looking to me for certain advice. And probably most of the reason I haven't been posting or anything is just because I feel like I have nothing but, and maybe that's what y'all need to see, but at the same time, I don't want to push out something that is like, y'all don't want to see me in my daily life. Like, you really don't. Like, and it's not that it's like some scary, like messed up stuff. Like, I'm not on drugs. I don't do drugs or any of that. But like, I feel like I'm a scary person to, if you really get to know me, like, you're not really gonna understand a lot. Like, I really put it all out there. I'm very honest with myself, and that can put people off like very easily. But hopefully, through me doing this, I can hopefully inspire some of you guys to take that own self-reflection, because like some people will look at me and they'll be like, I think it's because like I try, one of the things that I really try to do is to not fake my emotions. If I am sad, I never try to make myself happy. You know what I mean? Like I don't try to like cheer myself up or anything. I'm like, I'm sad. All right, let's be sad right now. Let's figure out why I am so miserable with this. Like why? Like, what is it? And then I just go into this hole, and it may take some hours, and the people around me might notice like, oh, this kid's walking around like with a cloud over his head, and it's like, but that's what I do. I get to the bottom of it and I understand it, and then I can plant the seed for it to grow and to push that up to the surface and to wipe it clean. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's hard for me to open up to people, because they think that I'm like, they think I'm like crazy or something, and it's like, that's not what it is. It's like, but a lot of us feel these like very, very like intense feelings, and when somebody says it, we immediately want to point to them as being crazy, like we don't think the same thing. And it's like, I think that that's just messed up, man. And honestly, if I didn't have y'all right now, like, I don't know where I'd be. Like, I don't know where I'd be, what I'd be doing. I think that I'd be trying to please a lot of people. But I will say, like, and this is for real from the bottom of my heart, I will say thank you guys for, being a part of this journey and giving me that encouragement and validation, because it's not fake. I know, y'all know that I used to, for those of you who've been here for a while, I used to have thousands of people in these live streams. And the reason that I like it more now is because all those people were hovering, and they were kind of like, oh yeah, like, we like this kid, but we like him right now. And then as soon as the next kid comes out and he's either more attractive or more whatever, like, we're gonna go to that. And it's kind of these like bandwagon fair weather fans. But I feel like you guys are genuine people, and I know that because I've met with you guys. I've seen you guys on tour. I've talked with y'all. We've had hour-long conversations. I'm so grateful that I got the chance to, during those tours that we did and in real life, for me to stay outside. I remember our team was telling us so many times, they're like, don't, like, you guys, like, what's the point of having VIP and meet and greets if you're gonna just go outside and meet everybody? And like, you guys are wasting money because like all these fans are out there, and the fans in the VIP aren't gonna, like, this whole thing. And I was like, all right, if that's really how you feel, like, I understood that they were thinking from a business perspective, from the money and the financial and technically they're correct. Like if y'all just see us, but like I just don't care. Like the money doesn't mean shit to me. It never has and it never will. And as long as I can physically do it, I am going to meet every single person who comes to my show. Like, you know, obviously at some point that's going to be impossible, and like it literally just couldn't happen, but I'm going to do as much as I can, man. Like with the position that I have right now, like we only got like what 120 people in here. Like one day it's going to be hundreds, thousands, like tens of thousands. Like I just know it and I see it, and I know that you guys are gonna miss this, but like let's celebrate where we are right now, and let's be happy, you know, because everything's about to change. Like, and like, you know, the stuff that I have coming out is it's just so good, and it's so me, and it's so like it's just so, oh man, like I can't talk about it without getting so passionate about it. I just feel so humbled and grateful that I get to do what I get to do, because I remember a point when I was 15 where like I said in Do or Die, man, I felt like I would have killed to be where I am right now. I would have murdered somebody, like, and that's metaphorically speaking, but like just to speak to the extent that I would go, like, and it's just one of those, it's just mind-blowing to me that even in this stage of my life where I thought that everything would be great, I still deal with so many different things. But you know what? I kind of think about it like this. That's a little too upbeat, and I feel like I'm going to talk over it. Oh, this is a crazy beat. But listen, I thought about it like this. You see a homeless man on the street or a homeless woman on the street. Are you going to immediately buy them a house? Are you going to get them a car, buy them a house, and get them new clothes and change their life like that? Is that really gonna help them? Is that really gonna help them? And I thought about it, and I was like, well, it's kind of the same situation in any walk of life, in any situation that you're in, whether you're a millionaire, whether you're broke, whether you're a college student, whether you're a high school or middle school student, you know, whether you believe in a God or the universe or whatever, there is something universally connecting us all, and there is something that gives, but it also withholds, because it knows that you're not ready to handle certain things. I can't tell you how many times I thought I was ready for something, and when I look back, I realized I wasn't ready at all. And so I realized that, you know, let's go back to the homeless analogy. You give a homeless man a meal, you talk to him for an hour, you talk to her for an hour. That will do way more for them than you giving them $500, because what are they going to do? They're going to take that, and God forbid they're on drugs, but they're going to go buy drugs, or they're going to go do this, or they're going to waste it all. And it's like, you have to teach them, you have to coax them. And if I was a God, that's how I would work. I would be like, all right, this kid, you know, he has a heart. He wants to do this the right way, but he has to understand. Like we all have to understand that all of us are ignorant to certain things. There's so many things that each of us we just have no idea. We couldn't put ourselves in this person's shoes. And these different scenarios and different situations that are happening in my life are opening my horizons to a variety of different people's lives, and realizing that, one, I'm not the only person who's going through this. I'm not the only one who goes through these things. There's a multitude of people. And it's like I have to go through it in order to, one, have this position to talk about it, and two, like, hopefully I can put this into song. Hopefully I can do it so it reaches even more people, and it's something that can live forever. And it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing though, because that does put a lot of like stress on you. Like, oh, like, am I being responsible for my actions today? Am I taking accountability for this and this and this? And like, it is scary, man. It's very, very scary. But you know, at the end of the day, I believe we're all loved. I believe we all have a purpose. I believe we all have something we're called to do, and it's completely different from the next man. But I feel like as long as you put yourself out there, I feel like as long as you have a little bit of faith in yourself, and you keep, at the end of every day, you just stay accountable. I think that's one of the most important things that I've had to learn is like, you know, I used to be a big hothead and I would point my finger at everybody. I pointed out my teachers or my parents or my friends or whoever and blame them for my lack of success or happiness. And as soon as I started looking inward and started being like, all right, like, you know what, like, yeah, this person did me wrong. This person did me wrong. What they said to me was not okay and it really hurt my feelings. But you know what? Let me be accountable for what I'm going through. Because one, I don't know, I've never been in that person's shoes. Whatever has led them to think that is a chemical reaction in them that has built up over time, whether it's something their mom said to them when they were a kid or whatever the case may be. And it's like we all have so much built up like tension within us that a lot of times we want to protect it. We want to protect we want to protect what makes us angry a lot of the times. Because honestly, if I'm being real with y'all, I feel extremely powerful and validated and justified when I'm angry. When I'm angry at someone, there's like not a better feeling. Like if I'm being real, like I love being angry at people because it takes everything out of myself. It takes all the pressure off my shoulders and allows me to throw it as hard as I can at whoever happens to be the offender in the situation. And like it's a dangerous thing. And you know, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be angry. I'm not saying that we shouldn't have you know, passion in certain situations, but it's like, how are you going to channel it? How are you going to use that? Are you going to use your voice and your words? And like one of the things I've had to work on is gossiping, because like, you know, when you gossip is very, very subtle and it's very slick. It's almost like it's like in the shadows. You know what I mean? Like you can feel like you're bonding with a person or you're connecting with a person over a similar issue that you have with another person. But at the end of the day, all that's creating is it's poison in the air. And it's like we have a culture that we just like to tear down everybody. There's no empathy, there's no compassion on the internet because everybody's perfect and everybody has their shit figured out and no one's ever made a mistake. And I see it on the internet, I see it with this whole political thing going on. I see it with so many different things. Like we can't just take a step back and understand that we're all one people. And it's like, and I'm not even, one thing I don't want to get misconstrued is like I don't want to sound like I'm speaking from a position of hierarchy or like I've got this shit figured out, and I don't, because I 100% have committed so many of these verbal crimes, if you want to call them that, as much as the next man. And I will say, like, there's so many situations, and it's very honestly heartbreaking for me, because I go through these different things, and one of the things I've been trying to do every night is to think about all the stuff that I did during the day. Because like I believe that if you've never lived a day at 100% like perfectness, there's always room for improvement, and there's always more that you can do. There's always something in that day that you didn't have to do, or something you didn't have to say. And like I look at my day and I'm like, you know what? That conversation that I had earlier was really, really productive until I said this. And when I said this, it changed the dynamic of the conversation. It steered it to, oh yeah, we're going to belittle this person and we're going to put this person down. And, you know, when you say it like that, it sounds kind of intense. It sounds kind of like, oh, like this big bullying thing. But it really is, man. And it can be something so simple as like, oh, well, you know how this person is. You know how this person is. And it's like, I can't tell you how many situations I've been in where, you know, maybe me and somebody else shared a common grief with a person, and we're in a new room, in a new environment with new people that don't know of this issue, and they bring that issue to that room, and all of a sudden it's like it's spreading, it's contagious because everybody loves it. I don't know, man. That's just a mini rant. It's crazy, but all in all, I've been trying my best to just enjoy my time during this crazy world right now, and I have hope. I feel like things are gonna get better, But not even but, I feel like things are going to get better. And I feel like, you know, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's hard to see it sometimes, but there is something that all of this is teaching us. There's something that we're all learning, and there's something that there's oh man, like, and you know, like I just have days where I just like, what's the point, you know what I mean? Like, but then I remember you guys. I remember, you know, it's honestly kind of frustrating sometimes, because I feel like, you know, why me? Like why do I have so much responsibility? Like, when the man next to me, like, is doing all these terrible things. And that's something I've struggled with too, man. Like, talking about all these different, like, you know, I find myself, like, I think I find comfort in comparing myself to the next man. And I'm like, all right, well, the next man he's not doing what I'm doing. He's not thinking the way I'm thinking. Like I think about the world this way, and I know that he's ignorant to that, and I know that because of that, like, I'm probably at more of an advantage. And you know what? Maybe in my life, maybe I have become more fortunate because of my mindset, or because of the way I look at things, or because of the way I treat people. But you know what? I'm not perfect, and there's somebody out there, and there's something more perfect than anything that I could do that is my standard. And my standard is, like, I will never compare myself to a man or woman, to anybody on this earth, because that's just not what nobody lives a perfect life. And it's not that I'm chasing perfection, but that is my standard. It's like I'm Steph Curry, and he said in an interview one time, he said, if I don't make 100% of my 3-pointers in a season, there's always room for improvement. And that's how I look at life, and that's how I look at the things that I'm able to do. Because I know that when you're selfless, and when you have an open heart and an open mind, and you have compassion, and you give, that is what changes the world. It's not me having a #1 song that's going to change the world. Me having $1 million that I just give to people. Me having the most streams in the world. Me having all these different things is not going to change the world. But it's what I do in my private life. It's what I do when I'm alone. It's how I think about myself. It's how I view the people around me. It's how I challenge myself. It's how I learn how to respect people. I have a hard time respecting people, guys. I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of people that just don't have my respect, and that's something that I want to work on, because everybody deserves my respect. Everybody deserves to be treated fairly from me. And, you know, that's just what I deal with. You know, I see certain people, and it's hard to put yourself in people's shoes, man. It's easy to be like, wow, like, look at how terrible that person is. It sucks for them, you know? And it's like, but you know that if that person died, you wouldn't be thinking about those things. You'd be thinking about all the good things. And it's like, sometimes, you know, we want to highlight others' issues. We want to highlight other people's problems. We want to just dig into people and, like, check them, which it can be healthy sometimes. But I think in this day and age, at least in my environment and the people that I associate myself with, it's a lot of tearing down. It's like, oh, you tearing me down? Oh yeah, well, you do this, I'm gonna tear you down. Oh, you do this, I'm gonna tear you down. It's your fault. Like, if you were doing this, I wouldn't be doing, like, it's all of that. And so it's like, I feel like if we could just take a step back as a people, man, it'd be really nice. I don't know, man. I've been going off. I've been talking for a while. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm going through it right now. I'm 100% going through something right now. And, you know, the reason I went to the park today and I took a walk is because I was distracting myself by going on Instagram, looking at everyone else's life. And I was like, I need to go to the park today because I need to sit down and just think and just open myself up to criticism. A lot of the times, you know, we want to get ourselves down or I want to get myself down because, you know, I'm not open to personal criticism. But I think that, sometimes that is the answer and that is the key. Because, at the end of the day, I hear this all the time. We're in control of our mind. We're in control of our thoughts. But I think it starts in your heart, to be honest. I think the mind is it's very powerful and it can easily consume you. So I think that to have the heart as your foundation and to have just like pure childlike emotion is the foundation of it all. And yeah, man. There's some music coming too. I just I try to. I haven't done one of these in a minute, and I feel sometimes I feel sort of irresponsible for not doing it as much. But after today, I feel like I was able to kind of get a lot out to you guys, and I just want to let y'all know that like I'm not gonna stop ever. I'm never gonna stop. I'm never gonna stop. The day that I stop is the day that I don't want to be corny and rhyme. Is the day that it's the day that the day that I stop working on myself is the day that my music and my message and my connection with y'all doesn't mean anything. That'll be the day. But that day won't come. I have incredible faith that day's not going to come. And I like to beat myself up a lot, but it's like at the end of those things, at the end of the day, open myself up to criticism, but then it's kind of like, like look at where you were before. Like, be proud of where you're at. Don't let this discourage you, but let it encourage you, and be grateful to know that you were wrong at something, that you failed, because failure always leads to success. There's nobody successful that never failed. That was never embarrassed, that was never humiliated. Like, no one was ever successful by always being loved, by always being popular, by always saying the right thing. No one ever became successful. You have to fall so many times, but when you fall, are you going to wait for somebody to pull you up? And are you going to sit there and you're going to cry because you fell while everyone else is running? Or are you going to get right back up and keep going, even though you just embarrassed yourself, even though you just did something bad? Like, I think about that a lot. I think about how terrible the stigma of mental health and depression is. I think that everyone thinks I don't think everybody. There's certain people that really like to. It's like it teeter-totters. Like, there's depression where I think it's so tough, man. It's such a tough subject, but what? But we have such a beautiful life, man. That's all I'm gonna say. We have such a beautiful life, and that's not to discredit anybody's situation. Because honestly, I haven't been in everybody's shoes, or anybody's shoes. Honestly, I haven't been in anybody's shoes. Not everybody. I haven't been in a single person's shoes. One, two, three into the foe. But like, listen, guys. I just feel like we need to. I don't want to come off preachy. I'm going to talk about what I need to do. This is what I need to do before I say some dumb shit. What I need to do is, stop being so mad at people. I've got to be more compassionate, and also I have to understand that, what I project has an effect on everybody around me. And whether or not I'm justified in the way someone else is acting, like, I have a position to, like, change that. And I have an opportunity to change that. And I have, I don't know if you guys have ever heard, like, there's a story in Greek mythology where, have you guys ever heard of the sirens? So there's basically, like, when the men sail there's this island where the sirens live, and these sirens are monsters. But when they sing, the men passing by, they look over. It's such a beautiful song. All they see are like the most beautiful women ever, like so beautiful, and it's so controlling that they just want to jump right off the boat and swim basically to their deaths, because once they get to shore, they're eaten alive and they're killed. Now there's three things that three different ships did. Now the first ship, one of the captain, I forget what his name was, I don't want to mess this up, but he had his men tie him to the mast, like with the ropes, and they all wore earplugs or beeswax or something, but they tied him, and he could hear the song, and he was begging them to cut the rope, I want to swim, I want to go over there, but obviously his men wouldn't let him. So he, in the face of temptation, in the face of this, what he decided to do is he's like, I'm going to restrict myself, but I still want to engage slightly. Now there's something that the next ship did, and all they did was they put in the beeswax, and none of them even heard it, so they ignored the problem completely. And sometimes that's what we like to do. Like, we might be in the middle of something, and whether it's temptation, whether it's a tough situation, whether we're gossiping, whether we're, doing any sort of bad thing. And sometimes our tendency, which is a good thing, is to just walk away, is to just block it all out, is to not even involve ourselves. But there is something that the third ship did that is the most righteous and the most gracious of all of them. And he decided, instead of plugging everyone's ears, he decided to also sing. And so he sang to his men above all the noise of the sirens, and he projected above it, and everyone got to enjoy his voice. And what that spoke to me was, in situations of manipulation, lies, and jealousy and envy, if you just speak the truth, which is the hardest thing to ever do, and this is something I really want to work on right now, is like to insert the truth, not to just turn away, not to just leave, not to just isolate myself, but the real challenge is to, in the midst of all that chaos, where everybody is like this, to give the truth, to be the voice of reason, to be the voice of compassion, even though this person has every reason to, by man's standards, to be torn down and to be stoned to death and all these other things. And that was just like a really interesting lesson that I felt like I want to apply into my life, because I know in so many instances, like my first instinct is to just leave, and that's okay. I'm not restricting myself. I'm right in the middle. I'm not engaging, but sometimes I am, honestly. If I'm being real with y'all, I am engaging in a lot of these situations sometimes, and that's not good. That's not a good thing that I do. And so my next step, what I'm doing right now, is I'm disengaging from everything. I'm putting in the beeswax. Now the next thing that I need to learn how to do, be that voice of truth, be that voice, to project the light into the dark places, which is the hardest thing, because the dark is solitude. The dark is where we're comfortable, because no one can see us. We feel like we feel like we're not being watched. But secretly what we're doing is we're poisoning each other. We're tearing each other down. We're speaking all of this terrible stuff into the air, and it's just it's bad, and that's something I need to work on a lot. I really need to work on that. Now guys, I will tell you what I'm doing this week. Why is your shirt half on? My shirt is half on because it's hot, and I just got back from the park and I was throwing a tennis ball around, and pits are a little bit sticky. And yeah, I will say that the stuff that I have coming out, I'm going back into the studio tomorrow. I'm back in the studio tomorrow morning to do the final touches on my next piece of music that is going to come out. And I don't want to say too much, but I'm just going to preface this that it is something that I have been waiting to say for a very long time. And it is something that I have always been passionate about. And I think that you guys are going to love it. It's musically the best thing that I've done. Lyrically, it's the best thing I've done. It's levels above, and it's original. And I made the beat. So y'all are getting all different. You're not getting all the elements of me yet with this one, but you're getting the classic CMS. I just want to let you guys know that I'm so incredibly grateful that you guys are still tuning into these lives, that you guys are still interested in the things that I have to say, that you guys still are rocking with me, that you guys still are excited, that you guys are still okay. Like, forget me with it. Like, I'm excited and I'm happy that, you know, you guys seem to be doing well. And I hope that if anything, you know, you guys can, I pray for you guys. I hope that you guys have an amazing, you know, next couple days, next week. I hope you guys can, you know, get to the bottom of some of the wickedness that's in your life and understand what's motivating you to be this. I don't want to call y'all evil, but to project evil into the world, because we all do it. We all do it. There's not a person in this live that hasn't said something or thought something or, you know, even took an action of evil. And, you know, sometimes I think we have to separate it black and white like that, like good, evil. Like, for me, like, I'll Jedi, Sith. You know what I'm saying? Like, and yeah, I'm very grateful to, you know, have a extended family like you guys. I'm very grateful that y'all are in my life. I'm very grateful that y'all have. I'm very grateful that y'all are okay. And, you know, if there's any fan or if there's any person, you know, that isn't having a good time, y'all, I just ask that y'all be there for each other, but not to depend on each other, but to just be there for each other out of the kindness without expecting anything in return. I ask that y'all can be there for each other and lift each other up. The last thing that I want to see is you know, drama with y'all and anything else, because, you know, I think we all really care about each other and all this other stuff. By the way, my hair kind of looks sick like this. Anyways, I don't know if I want to play it. I can't. If I kept y'all this long, nah, I can't do it. I can't do it, bro. I can't do it. I'll have snippets coming once I have you know, everything mixed and all that other good stuff. But until next time, I love you all so much. I care about you all so much, and I hope that you guys know that I think about y'all every day, and I can't wait for you guys to hear what I've been working on, and it makes me so happy that y'all are excited, and I just hand farted, and I hope that y'all are doing well. All right, until next time.